everybody, welcome to the Midships YouTube channel. I'm your captain, Corey, and today we're going to be talking about Alaska cruises. Actually, as I'm filming this, there's a ship en route on an Alaskan cruise. And today we're going to read an article by someone that's on the ship. We'll find out everything that's going on right now and get a little glimpse of what cruising in 2021 to Alaska may be like for you. So let's hop into the article. You can see this is on the pointsguy.com. And this article is written by Gene Sloan, and it is entitled, "I'm on the first big cruise ship to sail to Alaska in nearly 2 years. It's so empty, it feels like it's my own private yacht." Interesting. Somebody like myself who sort of values a little bit of time to themselves for reflection and relaxation, a cruise like this really sounds quite appealing. I don't know what your cruising style is. Maybe you're more big into the dancing up on the Lido deck and doing all of the activities together with the cruise director. But me personally, I like this kind of quiet cruise. It sounds really nice. So let's go ahead and read here a little bit more of what Gene has to say. As I write this, I'm sitting in the Centrum on Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas. It's a soaring, centrally located lounge and bar space that's in one of the ship's main gathering places. He says this is normally a very bustling place, and it should be particularly bustling now. There's a guitarist performing on stage, the only live performance currently happening on board. He goes on to say the Centrum is stunningly empty. So empty that it seems like the guitarist is playing just for me, he says. As he looks around, he could see just 2 other passengers on the ground level of the room. A few more are in the balcony spaces above him, and nearly all the clusters of chairs that fill the Centrum are unoccupied. So it sounds like he's painting a picture of this ship being sort of all to himself here. So it looks like we're seeing sort of the result of these reduced capacities that Royal is sailing with. So let's hop back into the article here. All right. We're going to skip ahead here. He goes, "Last night I was dining at the ship's Italian eatery, which is named Giovanni's Table. I noticed at one point that the entire staff was attending just to my own table and to one other that was occupied. After dinner, I sat down with another cruise writer in the ship's signature schooner bar for a drink, and for a time we had the entire place to ourselves." He goes on to lament that he was enjoying the live piano music, though. So that, wow, look at this photo of the ship. Everything's empty, man. This is wild. Like, what would you think about a cruise like this? Is this something that you'd enjoy? If you would, could you go ahead and leave a comment below this video? Let me know. What would you think about cruising to Alaska right now on the Serenade and just being sort of in your own little world, your own little bubble? And while you're down there, we're a new channel. We're growing. It really would help us so much if you could give this video a thumbs up and maybe hit that subscribe button. It would go so far into helping us grow and deliver more and more of this cruise news to you as often as we can. So with that, we really appreciate your support. Let's hop back into the article here. Gene goes on to say, Serenade of the Seas is the first big cruise ship to restart departures to Alaska in nearly 2 years. And for now, it's sailing with just a fraction of the number of passengers that it normally would. This results in an extraordinarily intimate and exclusive onboard experience. It almost feels like I'm on my own personal yacht, he writes. Just a very, very big one. Here a look at that and other things different or not on Serenade of the Seas as it finally returns to cruising after COVID-19 caused its 16-month hiatus. So it sounds like we're going to go through kind of some finer points, break things up and distill them down into some details. So it looks like one of the first points the author makes is that you're seeing a lot smaller crowds. But he does say surely this won't last for long, but at least for now. Being on Serenade of the Seas is a chance to experience everything the big ship has to offer without the crowds that normally comes with this type of big ship. Wow. It looks like he's figured out that his particular passage is only 25% full. Wow, that is wild. I could not imagine being on a ship right now that was only 25% full. I know we've got more than 100% desire to be out on these cruise ships. So what a lucky few cruisers that are currently cruising right now. Cruisers typically book sailings many months, if not a full year in advance, and fill a cruise ship on short notice. And filling a cruise ship on short notice is difficult, even in the best of times. Yeah, that's true. You know, these cruises, they're an investment, and a lot of people have to save up for a full year, or maybe pay this off over 6 or 8 months just to be able to afford some of these experiences. But looks like maybe this one was such a last minute book that there's not a whole lot of occupancy on this. One amazing statistic about the first sailing of Serenade of the Seas: there are more crew members on the ship than there are passengers. In all, there are slightly more than 800 crew members on Serenade of the Seas right now, a full complement. That means the staff to crew ratio is nearly 1.3 to 1. So there's 1 1/3 more crew members than there are people sailing on this ship. I tell you what, this is probably going to be the best service you could ever ask for on a cruise. This guy is so lucky. All right, the next bullet point he goes to offer is new health protocols. And he says Royal Caribbean has implemented some new health and safety protocols on board Serenade of the Seas that are very noticeable and designed to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. For starters, passengers must wear masks for now in the interior spaces of the ship. And some areas of the ship, the casino for instance, and the pub, are off limits to passengers who aren't vaccinated against COVID-19. That's not surprising. We've actually touched on that point in the last couple of videos that have been about Royal on this channel. So if you'd like to watch some of those, go ahead and check out our channel. We've got a few more videos on some of Royal's other ships, such as their new Odyssey of the Seas. That was a great video. The line has also made changes to venues to encourage more social distancing. Many seating areas in lounges, bars, and restaurants are blocked off with a table reserved sign. Okay, so here's a photo of the sign. Gyms are only open by appointment. All right, so if you like to go on your cruise and start your day on the treadmill or hitting the weights, as I might be found doing from time to time, looks like you're making an appointment if you're wanting to work out on Serenade of the Seas. In addition, travel parties with unvaccinated passengers are not allowed to leave the ship in ports unless they purchase a local tour directly through Royal Caribbean. So this is, again, we're seeing a common theme on all of Royal's ships. If you don't have the jab and you want to get off the ship, your only option is to purchase an excursion directly through the cruise line, which means, folks, let me switch over to the main camera. This is important. If you're an unvaccinated cruiser and you have a cruise planned right now, and you want to get off the ship at some point, you need to go as soon as possible into your cruise planner and go ahead and book those shore excursions. Typically, I say wait until like the last month or two to start booking some of these things. You might find some better values. I like to be patient on things, but if you don't have the vaccine and you want to get off the ship, you need to ensure that these things are available for you. These excursions don't sell out. They're most likely selling them at a limited capacity. So if you're hoping to get off the ship, I would get onto my cruise planner right now and book those excursions. Let's hop back into the article here. Oops. Maybe if I hit the right button. Royal Caribbean is mandating that all passengers 16 years of age and older show proof of a COVID-19 to sail on Serenade of the Seas. The age cutoff will soon drop to 12 on August 1st. The result is that a large percentage of passengers on board are indeed vaccinated against COVID-19. Passengers who aren't vaccinated are required to take a PCR test when checking in at the terminal and an antigen test while on board the ship near the end of the voyage. Passengers under 2 are exempted from testing requirements. While noticeable, the new mask-wearing rules and social distancing measures aren't overly intrusive. I would assume the author is saying this because he's pretty much used to this in his day-to-day life pre-cruise. So, yeah, I would imagine that now that we're all sort of used to our own little 6-foot bubbles, doing it on a cruise ship probably is just like normal day-to-day life for us. While masks haven't been required in most venues in my home state of North Carolina since May, and I've grown accustomed to not wearing one in most settings, I've quickly gotten back into the habit of putting it on while on board Serenade of the Seas. All right, we're going to have a little bullet point on normality. Despite the new mask rule, the basic cruise experience feels relatively normal. As noted above, the most noticeable difference right now as compared to pre-COVID times is that the ship is very empty. All right, so we sort of touched on all this, so we will go over this. It looks like We have a new drink on Alaska sailings. Serenade of the Seas is returning to service with one big surprise for Royal Caribbean fans: a new warm alcoholic drinks menu, specially designed for their Alaska sailings. Dubbed the Last Frontier menu, it features an Irish coffee made with Jameson Irish whiskey, cinnamon syrup, and coffee topped with whipped cream, and a vanilla. Wow, that sounds really good. Jameson is if you're a whiskey fan, Jameson Irish, it's a great whiskey. It has a wonderful flavor. A vanilla spiked hot chocolate also made the list with a warm whipped cream, as well as a Malibu hot chocolate made with Malibu coconut rum and hot chocolate, again topped with whipped cream. So if you are a coconut rum type of person, lady or gentleman, this sounds like it might be the drink for you. And these warm drinks, I tell you what, on an Alaska itinerary, this might be just what the doctor has ordered. He goes on to say there's also a classic hot toddy on the menu with Chivas Regal Scotch whiskey. A lot of whiskey drinks. This is a guy like me. I would really like this menu. I really prefer my dark alcohol, my bourbons, my whiskeys. So this all sounds wonderful. In the interest of proper research, the author tried them all and declares the vanilla spiked hot chocolate as the champion of the bunch. Wow, Gene, that's really good information, and we appreciate the article that you've written here. Switch back over to the main camera. That's going to wrap up today's article here on the Serenade of the Seas inaugural Alaska voyage. So thanks for going ahead and listening. And if you'd like to see more articles like this from the Midships channel, your Captain Corey will be here to offer them. Go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you on the Midships.